So current situation, I'm in a hotel. When God had me go through that situation to where I wasn't eating and I wasn't sleeping, it got to a point, I probably posted by now. It's probably posted, but in one of the last videos, I posted about how, God just had me sit with the feelings that my flesh was feeling. It just said, feel it, just sit with it, and I sat with it because I said, God, I can't keep going, right? I was like, God, I don't know. I don't want to get emotional, but I was just like, God, I can't do this anymore. Like, I know you want me to keep going, but like, I can't. And as soon as I said that, he said, I'm sending my angels to comfort you. And as soon as he said that, I just felt this weight just pick me up. Like, I just felt lifted, and I didn't feel as tired anymore. I felt a little bit of strength that I could keep going. And I'm gonna let you know that wasn't me, right? Because I was completely done. I was completely giving up. I was like, God, I'm about to give up. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I might as well. I'm just gonna pay the $600 on my credit card, and then if I get in debt, then I just get in debt. I cannot keep staying up. I can't keep not eating. I have to do this. And once God just said, just wait a little bit. Like, you're almost there. Just wait a little bit. I was like, okay. And he said, I'm sending my angels to comfort you. And I just felt that lifted of energy. Like, I just felt like this burden just lifted off of me. And then, once I felt that, I heard God say, it is finished, right? It is finished. And I think it's so hard to follow God when you don't know how much longer you have, because it could have been days, more days that I was waiting on God. But he just said, wait. He didn't tell me, hey, you're going to wait 5 more minutes. Hey, you're going to wait. He's just seeing if I trust him with the statement of wait on the Lord, right? Just wait. That's all he said. He didn't say in 5 minutes I'm going to do it. No, he said wait. So once he said wait, like 5 minutes later, he was like, it is done. And I looked on the website that I looked on, because when I looked on the website to book a hotel, because my flesh just wanted to lay down, I looked and it was 600 to 700 a night to book a hotel, right? It's never been that high. Once I looked after he said it is finished, it dropped to, as in one of the videos I probably showed it, it dropped to $60 a night. That is nothing that that is something that only God can explain. That from going to 600 to 700 a night when it was never that, never came here and it was never that, it went down to 60. So I'm like, and I was hesitant at first. I'm like, God, I don't want to just get a hotel just because it's cheap. Like, if I'm doing something, if I'm disobeying you, like, just let me know. And he said, it is finished. So I booked the hotel, and that was the morning of yesterday morning, which was the 29th. The morning of the 29th, I booked the hotel. And I had to wait for my room, right? When I booked the hotel, it was early in the morning. I had to wait for my room, which was check-in was 3 o'clock. And I was just like, ooh, like, I know I can do this, but it's getting, like, God is cutting it close. Like, it's getting so tiring. And, I just went up there. I was like, how much is early check-in? Do you guys have it? Because when I first went up there, they were like, we don't have early check-in. You have to wait till 3. Then I went up there again. I was like, is there a fee that I can pay for early check-in? He was like, oh, we have a room available for you. That was at like 11:30 a.m., right? So instead of waiting until 3 p.m., I got a room. Only me. He didn't check nobody else in. He said, we have a room for you. And it was the same room I was in the last time, which is just crazy. But I want to discuss some of the things God spoke to me for why he had me do that, and also the lessons I learned in it. So the first thing and the biggest thing that he told me was, he said it specifically, my child, there is a spiritual attack on your life. A huge one, right? Not just no little, like, the devil throwing stuff. No. There's a huge attack on your life, right? And it's because there's so many people witnessing your journey. There's so many people witnessing your testimony. There's a huge attack on your life. Although there are a lot of people supporting you, and they they fear me, meaning God. They fear me, and they understand what you're going through. There are a lot of people that are against it. There are a lot of people that hate what you're going through. They hate God. And it's not just people that sin. No, there's demonic people watching you as well. There's people that do witchcraft, that are sending witchcraft your way, praying on your downfall, praying for these things to be stopped so that you can go home and you can back away from what God has for you. And he made sure to tell me, although no weapon formed against you shall prosper, they can still form, right? So when all this stuff is going on, when you see every corner you go towards, there's something else, that is because the devil is trying to attack you directly, right? It's no longer an indirect attack. It's directly. He is directly attacking you, right? And he said because of that, your faith is wavering. That's what he said. The reason why you're doing this is because your faith is wavering and there's a huge attack on your life. I need your faith to be strong. Because when I went on the flight, when I came here, my faith was amazing. It was through the roof, right? He reminded me that your faith was through the roof when you first came here. You were reading your Bible every single second. If you needed an answer, you read your Bible. You didn't go to videos. You didn't listen to anybody else. You didn't get, you know what I'm saying? You didn't worry about what everybody else was saying. Once you started to settle here, you started to pay attention to comments. You started to pay attention to your old fears. You started to pay attention to your old thinking patterns. You started to listen to family and friends. You started to listen to people that are saying, maybe you should go home. Maybe you shouldn't do this. Your faith was wavering, and I needed to be straight. I needed to be straight. So God said, okay, your faith is wavering, and I need you to do this, right? But he didn't tell me why I was doing it until I was actually in it, right? He didn't tell me. He just said, don't book. He didn't say, your faith is wavering, so I need you to book, and I need you to do this because you need to stop eating and not. He didn't say all that. He said, don't book a hotel after the 26th. That's all he told me. Then when I was in it, I learned that my faith started to grow. I started to hear God more clearly. If someone came up to me, God told me their exact intentions. God told me exactly what they're coming in for before they came in. Like, it was just crazy. I felt like I was hallucinating. But everything was true. Like, I would witness something and then it would happen. I heard God very, very clearly. And that's when I knew. That's when it started to connect that to me that he was strengthening my faith. So that was the biggest one. Another one was, there's something down the line, which I'm not going to discuss because it didn't come to pass yet. There's something down the line I have for you that requires you to fast and requires you to really depend on me to hear my voice. Because if you make bad decisions, if you go back into sin, if you keep disobeying me, you can delay that thing. And I need it to be in divine timing. I need it to happen when it's supposed to happen. So that's what he told me. Another one. And he also said that I'm testing your obedience, right? He wanted to make sure that I was going to listen to every single call, because my next season requires me to listen to every single call that God says, right? Every single thing, not misinterpret it, not try to switch it up, every single thing. He was testing my obedience to see, okay, if I say don't book after the 26th, are you just going to book, or are you going to say, well, what's the reasoning, God? I need a reasoning. Are you just going to jump? Are you going to be in your Abraham season to where I say sacrifice Isaac and you just hand him over? Or are you going to say, but are you going to bring him back? Why? Of course the video stopped. But are you going to be in that season? Are you going to start questioning me? Why do I have to give up my son? Are you going to bring him back? What are you going to do to him? What's the reasoning? I'm not asking all those questions. It's just, all right, go. All right, let's go. Because if God brought me here, that means he already seen after I was in this season, right? Because I had so much doubt and fear of, like, God, are you, like, am I crazy? Like, I felt delusional. So when people were saying, like, she's going through a manic episode, she's crazy, this isn't okay, she has a mental disorder, it's like, those are the fears I had before. So the devil is using that against me because he knows that's the fear I have of, like, am I delusional? And it's like, no, because there was times where I gave up on this and God still put it on me and said, this is what it is. This is what it is. Not as a way to force you or urge you, but to say, like, God, I need help. And then when you say, God, I don't care about you anymore, I don't need help, he's still handing it. You think he's just about to leave just because you say I don't care about you anymore? Tomorrow you might care about me, so here, I'm handing it to you. So there are times where I will give up on God and be like, God, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to. He would be handing me the thing. He would give me dreams. He would wake me up out of my sleep, giving me the thing. He would tell me the thing. This is where it's supposed to be. This is where you're supposed to go. Florida, January 17th. This is what's happening. This was happening. He would constantly do that. So I don't know about you, if you think the devil was that strong to constantly just put something in your spirit to where you rebuked it and it didn't go away. But the devil ain't that strong, right? If you rebuke the devil and you send him away, cast him away, he will flee. He will flee. He must flee. So if I'm casting away what I think is the devil and it's not going away, it's God. Okay, let me just tell you that. So, no, I'm not delusional. I'm going to take my power back and say, no, I'm not delusional. I'm not manic. I don't have a mental disorder. I'm not schizophrenic. This is the power of God, and I pray that God speaks through me to you guys, because a lot of people, like I said, they think that this is delusion when it's really just a test of faith and it's really just God, me being obedient to God. It might look crazy, and I had to realize God keeps reminding me this. Jesus' mother was called crazy, right? His disciples were called crazy. His disciples died for him, right? Because they were so strong in their faith and saying, like, they were having miracles happen. Like, they were doing things from being obedient to God. They were called crazy. So do you think you're any different? You think you're any different from Peter? You think you're any different from any other his disciples? Do you think you're any different? No. If you think you're any different, then you can go ahead and just give up on everything, because you are no different than his disciples, right? If God is telling you something and people are like, that's crazy, that's not God, you don't know how much dots are connecting to where I know it's God. So this video is long. I'm gonna probably do a part 2, but that's the situation.